Breaking news, BVI announces one additional case of COVID-19.
Additional stories we're covering today, BVI under 24-hour curfew, a look at law and order in the BVI.
Businesses find creative ways to defy curfew.
BVI government to seek assistance for unemployed amidst COVID-19 from the UK.
USVI continues to see increase in COVID-19 cases. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Welcome everybody, a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you. It's Monday, March 30th, 2020. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
Day 3 of our curfew, Kyla, and
Yes.
we are rolling with the punches, doing the best we can, and delivering our daily updates to the wonderful people.
Most definitely. So in breaking news, the Minister of Health and Social Development announced the confirmation of an additional case in the BVI, bringing the territory's total to 3. Viewers, here's a clip from the press conference where the Minister of Health and Social Development made this announcement.
On March 25th, we reported that 9 persons were under investigation, awaiting results from the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA. The Health Emergency Operations Center continues to work around the clock to contract, trace, and to test persons at risk. Subsequently, an additional 16 persons were tested, thus bringing the total number of persons under investigation to 25. Today, of that 25 persons, we have confirmed another positive case, one more, in the British Virgin Islands, bringing a total confirmed imported cases to 3. The third patient is a 26-year-old male with travel history to a country where there is community spread. He is currently in quarantine and had only mild symptoms. His contacts are also quarantined and are asymptomatic, which means they have no symptoms. I can now report that there are 143 persons under self-quarantine protocol at their home.
Yes, viewers, that was the Honorable Carvin Malone giving just an update on the COVID situation in the BVI. There he said there was 9 under investigation, with an additional 16 persons becoming under investigation, which made a total of 25. Out of that 25, they received 1 positive case. Ron, we are awaiting official statistics out of the Ministry of Health. This in the press conference, he did not say if there were any tests outstanding.
Correct.
So when we do get that confirmation on statistics, we will let our viewers know.
We are thankful that it's only 1, but still 1 case is still too much. 1 additional case is still too many, and we want to emphasize persons to continue to be cautious. Now on to one of our top stories. Since Friday, March 27 at 8 p.m., the territory of the Virgin Islands has been on a 24-hour curfew until April 2nd in the first instance. Now, while residents have been adjusting to the new temporary norm, it seems many residents have been having a difficult time adhering to the laws of the land, and moreover, it appears that the lawmakers of this territory themselves seem to have quite a task enforcing the very laws they've implemented. As some residents stay indoors and work from home and authorized essential workers continue to provide essential services, residents of the British Virgin Islands who fail to comply with the government-imposed laws could now be fined thousands of dollars in the court of law or to be sent to prison for up to 12 months. Her Health Minister, the Honorable Carvin Malone, gave such indication during Friday's emergency session of the House of Assembly while introducing the new COVID-19 Control and Suppression Act, also known as the Miscellaneous and Provisions Act of 2020. The Act, in the meantime, also has provisions to restrict ferries and commercial vessels during pandemic. He said the court could fine persons up to $5,000 along with the custodial sentence upon summary conviction in the magistrate's court. We prefer to find culprits, Malone said. Honorable Malone explained that while the term of imprisonment is attached for the court's consideration, a special prison would have to be constructed specifically to enable these persons to serve their time. We would rather the money. We will do everything to collect the $5,000, the Minister of Health said. Now, Kyla, while the territory of the Virgin Islands continues to closely monitor and strive to protect residents against the global pandemic that is COVID-19, and self-quarantine, isolation, and curfew laws have been put in place. Over the weekend, the territory faced a number of challenges as it pertains to law and order. The very same health minister who issued those stern statements previously quoted pertaining to perpetrators being fined was caught in a web of confusion over the weekend when the individual who was in breach of a curfew boldly stated on various platforms that the Minister Malone granted permission. This call came to light, Kyla, when our newsroom, contacted the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, and they confirmed reports that a local businessman and clergy member were rumored to have been arrested for the alleged church gathering and breach of contact. Now, as I said, we reached out to them, and they confirmed in a statement saying, the spokeswoman said to us, saying, and I quote, "I can confirm the arrest of one male for breach of curfew. He was cautioned and warned for the offense and release." Police in that very statement also stated that the individual and others did not have state-issued passes. Now, the incident occurred in the Duff's Bottom area on Tortola BVI, and while officials did not release a name, the bishop himself later came forward to set the record straight. In that statement, the bishop reiterated several times that the permission was granted by the same health minister. Now, Kyla, here are some facts coupled with burning questions and concerns from citizens, residents, and members of the electorate. If laws are put in place to protect the people, why is the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, along with elected government officials, issuing cautions and warnings to select persons, while others are now only being arrested, but they're being fined and vehicles and bikes are being seized? If one church is going to be granted permission by elected officials to live stream pulpit messages, what about the other churches across the territory? Do the people of God not need to hear from those pastors as well? Are churches and pastors now above the law? Is word of mouth and text messages considered a formal permission? Does applying for a pass and not getting said passes in hand and in time still classify as being approved? And finally, residents of the Virgin Islands wish to know, is the governor of the Virgin Islands not the only individual mandated to grant such leniencies to residents? Who is in charge here? Who on earth is running this show? How are the people of the Virgin Islands, young or old, expected to abide by laws when the lawmakers show blatant bias, favoritism, and disregard for the very laws they've set? What is the point? What are we really doing to the very fiber and core of this praying Christian society that we speak so highly of? Remembering, of course, Kyla, that prayer without work is dead. Now, again, residents of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, continue to arrest persons across the territory for leaving their homes and doing 6 days out of any days out of the lockdown to dispose of garbage or to take their pets out for walks. Bikes are being seized. And again, the governor of the Virgin Islands, J.U. Jasper, said in an official statement, and I quote, "We are doing all we can to stop the spread. This means no traveling to the nearest garbage, roadside collection, no extended dog walks. It also means that the curfew extends to the beaches and any other activities in or on water." Governor Jasper also stated, as a cabinet, we know that this will be difficult. These restrictions will create hardships for businesses and employment and all of us as individuals, but they are necessary and we do not take them lightly. Jasper termed the measure as a short-term sacrifice in an unprecedented situation that extends beyond the territory's borders. Now again, many persons continue to be arrested, fined, and vehicles, bikes seized. One individual was also arrested for theft. Governor Jasper said between 8 p.m. on Friday to Sunday, 8 persons have been already arrested for breaking the 24-hour territorial curfew. Amidst the chaos and confusion, one legislator, however, is appealing to residents to do whatever they need to make sure that they are doing what is right. Leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition and District 8 Representative, the Honorable Marlon Penn, had this to say when he learned that many residents in his districts were not abiding by the laws. Take a listen.
Good morning, everyone. This is Marlon Penn, member for District 8, and I'm here setting out a plea to everyone throughout this territory, and more specifically in District 7 and 8, Eastern Isle community, where I represent and where I'm from, to please abide and respect the curfew of the land and respect the protocols that have been in place, been put in place by the government of the Virgin Islands, which have been put in place to protect you, protect your safety and the safety of your family, your friends, the entire territory. We've been getting disturbing reports of persons not respecting the curfew, not respecting the protocols that have been put in place, have been locked up by the police, been in prison. I want to make a plea again to you. Please respect the curfew, respect the rules that have been put in place. It's for all good for all of us, good of everyone in the territory and the community. Corona and COVID-19 and its effects and its impact is real. Global statistics outline over 617,000 reported cases and over 28,000 persons have died from this pandemic so far. And we have to ensure that we keep our territory safe, keep our people safe. That's why these rules have been put in place. I want to again say to the people of the Eastern Isle community, the people throughout this territory, please respect the protocols, please respect the curfew. It's a short period. Just please spend some time with your family, persons close to you. Call, reach out to someone who you think might be alone or might be lonely, but please respect the rules, respect the curfew as we try to get through this together. I thank you.
Yes, Ron, here we have the Honorable Marlon Penn just speaking to the people in the 7th and the 8th district to please abide by the curfew. But
Absolutely.
as we segue more into just defying the curfew, we see businesses coming up with some clever ways. Here in the BVI, we have local supermarkets and produce providers. They are finding some innovative ways to generate income during the lockdown. Now, just yesterday, these businesses advertised delivery of essentials goods right to your doorstep during this 24-hour lockdown. Now, Ron, would we consider this innovative or irresponsible? The government quickly issued an advisory addressing the issue. The advisory said owners of supermarkets territory-wide are asked to desist from distribution of food to residents immediately. Failure to do so will see the owners being fined. Now, Ron, here we see where businesses are desperate to keep their businesses afloat.
Indeed.
But there must be where we draw the line. Are we making profit or are we saving persons' lives? Now, unfortunately, many business owners are willing to risk their lives as well as their employees' lives to keep their business afloat. And equally, employees are desperate to keep their jobs. So the question is begging to be asked, is the government giving enough business economic security to our businesses?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. Yes, we know you are not going to have no money next week. This is a statement that the Premier said out of the House of Assembly, basically telling business owners that, yes, we know you're not going to have no money next month, but we are trying to let you get to live to see next month. So we could deal with that. What some of our people want, they want their lives, or do they want money? This is what the Premier said in the House of Assembly Friday, March 27th. But as I said before, I think it's easy to say. It's really easy to tell our business owners to shut up shop and, go into quarantine.
Right.
But then when we open back up, then what?
And are we giving them the answers they need? We cover a story in the second half of this that really covers the economy and the sustainability of small businesses and unemployed throughout this period. So we're going to get into some of those details, but it's a good question.
Most definitely. So in this instance and other instances over the weekend, we see where businesses are trying to find loopholes and defy the curfew at any means necessary.
Interesting. Now, still ahead, BVI Government to seek UK assistance for unemployed amidst COVID-19, and the USVI continues to see a spike in COVID-19 cases. All this and more when 284 News returns.
How may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There's the answer code.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Viewers, welcome back. Ever since the worldwide pandemic, that is COVID-19, began glaring its ugly face on the global economy, residents of the Virgin Islands have been requesting information as to the BVI government's ability to assist small businesses and the unemployed throughout the territory during this crisis. To date, no announcements from the Leader of Government Business and Minister of Finance has been forthcoming on the stimulus packages for residents, despite other Caribbean countries taking the lead in making sure stimulus packages are their #1 priority. Well, we here in the BVI may have gotten some sort of an answer as it pertains to the BVI government's plan for supporting the unemployed due to COVID-19. What's the big plan, you're wondering? Well, Leader of Government Business and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy, recently said his government will be seeking funding from the United Kingdom to assist local residents who become unemployed due to COVID-19 and its pandemic. This announcement was made during a special sitting of the House of Assembly on Friday, March 27th. He stated that the initiative is one of many in the works by his administration, but the other initiatives are yet to be announced. Foy said, and I quote, "In our plan, we also heard from the governor of the UK and who is willing to help the overseas territories, and we are going to put forward what we want, all for our unemployment for a certain time, be paid at least minimum wage from a grant from the United Kingdom." And that was the quote from the Premier. He further stated, "I have already asked the governor to inquire into this and have those funds start to be ready so that when we meet the presentation plan with the UK, that the monies that come from the UK will directly reach and touch and affect positively the lives of people and will not be lost through all kind of technical bureaucracy." Now, Kyla, many persons throughout the territory who have already seen the effects of being laid off, particularly in the hospitality industry, as well as small business owners, they were not particularly pleased with the response, and they did not find them very reassuring. Now, here are some facts that should be taken into consideration, viewers, when analyzing this situation, and statements by the Premier Foy. The British Virgin Islands is not the only overseas territory under the wings of the United Kingdom. Many other OTs will more than likely be making a similar request. With residents and citizens paying taxes and Social Security, why is our first approach not to borrow funds from the BVI Social Security Board, to which the same residents in need of assistance have been contributing for many years? The United Kingdom themselves are in a crisis, with schools rumored to now be closed until September 2020. The UK has already unleashed a $4 billion plan in wake of COVID-19 to seek to sustain their already strained UK economy, as they not already are under strain. They are already, under strain. What makes us think that we can afford, as overseas territories, to ask for help at this pivotal point? Brexit. What will the effect of Brexit and the UK leaving the European Union now have on the level of financial assistance afforded to OTs through the United Kingdom? How would UK taxpayers feel about their money being sent to overseas territories while they are in a crisis as well? In the past, UK residents have raised such concerns and have not taken lightly to what they call handouts being given to overseas territories. The BVI Hotel and Chamber of Commerce Association has wrote to the Premier in regard to a number of measures they think should be put in place to assist the business community in the BVI, and to date, no response has been given to that letter from the BVI government. Have their concerns been noted and analyzed? Can we not lean on the strength of the local intelligence to help maneuver these crucial times? Why hasn't the government of the Virgin Islands to date sat down with local bankers to discuss and request and implement that mortgages, loans, and unemployment for persons, residents, be held on about 3 to 6 months, that is? We can take a look at the Barbados model, where the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Mottley QC, has gone as far as issuing warnings to landlords to not evict anyone during these times. And they too, like other leaders, have already met with banks to implement a system where mortgages, loans, etc. are put on hold. UK loan guarantee. This is a big conversation. It has taken place throughout the territory for a long time, but I want to bring that up in this particular case. The UK loan guarantee, viewers, to date, the Virgin Islands has not been able to benefit from the highly anticipated and talked about UK loan guarantee, with almost 3 years passing by since the 2017 hurricanes. If the BVI government could not secure the loan guarantee then, how can they now ask for additional monies for the unemployed? Kyla, as it pertains to the economic structure here in the BVI, Virgin Islanders and its stability throughout the territory, again, residents are wondering, what are we going to do? Are we going to be given any kind of assistance? And are we going to be left on our own? And I think it's safe to say that they are asking a statement saying asking the UK for help is not particularly substantial for many unemployed and business owners.
Most definitely. Right now, I think a lot of people are sitting at home wondering what's next.
Correct.
Firstly, persons are unaware of how long. Yes, in the first instance, it's till April 2nd, but a lot of persons are thinking it may be longer. So persons are not sure how long they might be at home. When we get out, do I have a job? Will I be able to pay my bills? There's a lot of uncertainty in the air, mixed with all of the craziness that's happening in the world. And I think it's really hard. I know the government is doing the best they can, but when it comes to the uncertainty, when it comes to the economy, it is alluring over the BVI right now.
Indeed, and as some of the questions that came about from residents, concerned residents, they are absolutely right in regards to how we're going to approach it and what is being done. Could more be done? I think it's safe to say that a lot of the issues that we're working through with the COVID-19 pandemic, as a government, perhaps they've not faced that before. They've never done it before. They've never been in the situation, but residents still are concerned as to their well-being.
Most definitely, and you also mentioned the loan guarantee.
Correct.
That was for Hurricane Irma.
A major conversation.
In about 2 years ago.
Almost 3 years ago. This
Nearly
September,
3 years
yeah.
ago, and here we are in another crisis, and we're crying out to the same UK government. So what makes it necessarily different?
But we weren't
in
able
this
to secure
instant?
that first guarantee
Exactly.
loan. So what makes this situation
Any
different?
different, definitely. So right across the waters, Ron, the USVI continues to see a rise in COVID-19 cases. The territory entered the weekend with just 19 cases. But now the neighboring territory has reported a total of 30 cases. So on the 28th of March, the Virgin Islands Department of Health confirmed 4 additional cases of the coronavirus in the territory. Earlier that day at approximately 2:05 p.m., the first 3 cases was confirmed. And later at that night, at 8:20 p.m., the 4th case was then confirmed, bringing the total to 23. Just a day later, the territory confirmed 7 additional cases, bringing the territory's total to 30. No additional information was given on the origin of these cases, so they're unsure if this was travel related or if it was within the community. Now, the USVI statistics in regard to COVID-19 are as reported. 180 tests after being has been conducted to date. COVID-19 cases per island are 11 on St. Croix, 17 on St. Thomas, and 2 in St. John. And 124 cases have returned and they are negative. The territory are awaiting 24 tests pending results. Ron, we see here right across the water where the numbers are rising very quickly. Entering into the weekend, they had 19 cases. That was already very high.
Yes.
And now adding they are to the point of 30 additional cases. It's really scary over there. And I think over in the USVI, here in the BVI, we have shut down.
Yes.
We have take a stand still, but a lot is still going on over there. They're still having large gatherings. Their ports are still opened.
That's a good observation, and I think it's a good point to make. Whereas we see our numbers much less, but we're still on a curfew for 6 days, and then you see over in the U.S. Virgin Islands where their numbers are much larger, to the point of 30, and they're still not on a lockdown. They're on a curfew, but social gatherings and all that stuff are still taking place. So again, different strokes for different folks. Different measures are put in place for what they see fit, but it is still of a high concern for our brothers and sisters over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands from St. John to St. Thomas and St. Croix.
Most definitely. And of course, we sympathize with the persons over in the USVI. We have friends, we have family over there, but also BVI, we have to take this as an example of how quickly this can escalate for us.
That's a
Most
good point
definitely. Yes. So viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to like us on Facebook at 284 Media, and as well as Twitter and Instagram at 284 BVI. Make sure to catch our daily updates at 284media.com. I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We want to take this opportunity to thank each of you for sticking with us and really sticking with us on this journey as we keep you informed. It is our pleasure. We'll be seeing you tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here on 284 Media. Tune in at 3 p.m. tomorrow, live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Happy Monday, everybody. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents its newest talk show, The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, with yours truly, Ron Grant. A show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a 284 Media production.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.